Hi, welcome to my outdoor kitchen. Today on my grill, juicy and flavorful chicken breast with a goat cheese. It's pretty easy. I'm using simple seasoning, so it's just pepper, garlic, and salt, also some chili flakes. I'm making just a mix and will be dry brining chicken. In order to make chicken breast juicy and flavorful, you need to do some kind of trick. What I'm doing, I'm basically making some kind of pockets and not cutting it through, but just making incisions for cheese and other stuff what is going in. Next step is seasoning, and I'm just applying dry seasoning on chicken. And this is up to you what seasoning you would like to use, but I'm using SPG and usually adding some kind of heat spice. So effectively, I'm dry brining the meat. This is a preferred method for me. You can also use wet marinade, but it's not necessary really to make it juicy. Just need some time. So it's better if you have some 3-4 hours to marinate it in the fridge, but even better if you can do it overnight. Next day, I'm firing up my Kamado and looking for temperatures around 150 degrees Celsius. While the grill is heating up, I'm preparing brushing sauce. For that, I'm using ketchup, then some sriracha, also a little bit of Worcester sauce, few drops of rice vinegar to balance it out, and also some yellow mustard. Sometimes I'm also adding some additional seasoning like salt, pepper, and garlic, but this time not doing it. By the way, I will be grilling directly on coals, so grill temperature is not so important, but they should be well lit up. And now is the part what makes this chicken juicy and tender. So first trick is basically to use some kind of heat shield from below, and I'm using leek green part, which will soak some heat, also will release some additional flavors, and this will help me to be juicy. The next step is filling pockets with some cheese. I'm using goat cheese, but any cheese would be okay. What is important not to overfill these pockets, because more cheese you put in, longer time it will need to heat up, and there is kind of fine balance. About 1 tablespoon is enough for one breast. And then if you want to add some additional flavors, it's the time to do it. So I'm usually putting some dry herbs. In this case, I'm using dried chives. Dried Italian herbs works very well for this recipe as well, if you prefer it. I prefer a little bit of smoked flavor, so I'm putting chunk of wood, but it's not necessary. These leek leaves would also burn somewhat and provide smoked flavor as well. For this recipe, I'm not using deflector stone, just putting food directly on grates, and even Kamado is not very hot at this point, but it will come up in temperature and everything will be cooking slowly. That is important to retain moisture. Around 150 Celsius works for me, but it depends on your grill. And pretty soon, when nice smoky smell is coming out of Kamado, you can start check temperature, and it should be around 60 degrees Celsius to start basically applying the sauce what we made. You can do it several times, depends on how much of flavor, additional flavor you want, but sauce does also not only flavoring meat, but also provides some protection from drying out. Just be careful not to burn bottom too much. Because I'm grilling directly on coals, so temperature might be not even in all places. So it's important to check it in a couple of places on meat and move meat if necessary to some colder place or hotter place depending on how it cooks. Target internal temperature is around 74 degrees. I'm taking out these breasts a little bit earlier when they reach around 70 degrees because of carryover. Also, some 10-15 minutes rest period very recommended. It's not really complicated cook, so I highly recommend to try it. You would be surprised how good they actually are. Thanks for watching. Coming back soon.